Hey everyone, it's me. I want to talk about how we kind of lose ourselves along the way after we have children. Some people do, and the majority of us who have children, um, obviously, they are completely dependent on us for food, for their own well-being, for their safety, for everything under the sun. And eventually, they start to get a little bit independent, and then sometimes they're quite independent when they're little. So I want to talk about three people we kind of overlook after we have children. And this is just normal because as someone who wanted children and who enjoyed them and relished in I relished in my babies and every experience, the first tooth, the first step, the first mama and dada. uh, I relished in that, and it is common that we put our children first and we sacrifice our sleep, our well-being. We sacrifice everything to ensure that we bring a smile to their faces and we comfort them when they cry, and all of that fun and exciting stuff we're allowed to experience as parents. But I want to talk about, even in the midst of raising children, there are three people we forget about. And those three people are me, myself, and I. And when it comes to estrangement or even raising children or estrangement, in the midst of it, we forget to take care of me, myself, and I most of the time. And we get the leftover. We get the leftover time. We fit it in. Sometimes you're in the bathroom and even your children are peeking under the door because they want to be with you. So you can't even really use the bathroom by yourself. But in the midst of all of that, I, I can't say I lost myself, but I put the needs, wants, and desires of myself secondary, which, like I said, is quote unquote normal when you have children. Yet, as they grow and become more independent and leave the house to go work or go to school, etc., if we don't shift into self-care of me, myself, and I, which can, for me, it could be mental, emotional, and spiritual, physical, emotional, and other, just your basic needs as a human being. When we forget to start incorporating and taking care of me, myself, and I, we lose ourselves, and sometimes the only people we care for are everyone else but us. And we are told, especially as mothers, if we do any form of self-care, for instance, if women years ago, I stayed home with my girls, but if women went to work and maybe used a daycare or a nanny, women that pursued work prior to motherhood, it was tough. They were not favored above stay-at-home moms, and this was years ago. So it's anytime a woman chooses to take care of herself, to pamper herself, to take a break from parenting, even going out with a girlfriend, even if it's for a cup of coffee or for a concert or a play, even a short little vacation overnight somewhere. I've seen a lot of shows where women will say, well, I have to ask my husband if he'll watch the kids so I can get away. And that is not, sorry, my ears. The sun is on my back, so it kind of looks, I'm glowing. But it the mindset is children first and then everything else comes secondary. And if we fail to shift into self-care throughout our children's lifetime when they're gone, sometimes we're left wondering the now what. If we don't do any self-care, if you don't go even to get a manicure or get a massage, sit down and read a book, if you don't do anything for me, myself, and I, you get to the point where You're lost when your children are gone. What do I do? Who do I pour myself into? Who do I invest into? And the answer is you invest into yourself. But the truth is, we should have been doing this all along, the whole entire time we've had children. If we do it while we have children and we take those little breaks when they're little and allow either a grandparent or a spouse to keep an eye on the kids so we can go take a bath or go read a book or go take a walk or connect with a friend. It's That's what happens. So I just want to say that there's nothing wrong with taking care of yourself. It's important to take care of me, myself, and I, to give back to what we enjoyed doing before we had children, and then to take up new hobbies after, and also to get new friends, people that nourish you and enrich your life. If you have always wanted to crochet, you can learn how to do so on YouTube. You can hook up with someone that can teach you if they have time, because it is a time-consuming type of craft. But after that, you can go join a local, knitting and crocheting group. Even if they're 20 minutes, a half an hour away, it gives you time by yourself to listen to music, to enjoy your ride in the car without people screaming at you. You get to where you need to, and you'll find you form a kinship. But then, most important, when you're doing self-care, is you focus on yourself. A lot of young parents will say, my baby this, my baby that, and you say, well, what about you? And a lot of times, new parents of very young children, and that's their main focus, is their children. But when you're around other adults, it's adult time. It's time to talk about adult things. What do you like to do? Where do you like to go? What's your favorite vacation spot? Tell me about you. So that's the other thing you have to remember, is topic of conversation has to change. It's good for the soul. And I just want to say, taking care of yourself is not a sin. There's nothing wrong with it. You're not going to go to HE double hockey sticks for it. But the thing is, you have to remember, when you decide to start doing self-care, you may be chastised by other people who aren't in the same mind space. The people that are just still focused on their children and live for their children and this and that. So you have to be very careful about who you discuss this with, because you want to discuss it with people who encourage you to do self-care rather than those who don't. Because the minute someone plants a seed in your mind of self-doubt that you shouldn't be doing this, you're going to second guess yourself and stop doing it, more than less likely. So take care of yourself, do whatever you have to do, and I'll be back. We'll talk with you soon. Bye-bye.